personal.
Yeah.
I suppose every murder is personal. You know what the best revenge is? Revenge. Your grandmother wished to protect you.
From what?
Nazis, Jonah. Goddamn Nazis. There's evil living here. Bad neighbors.
They blinded themselves to us. You can get away with anything in America.
So your grandmother and I created the Hunters.
We put together a group of Nazi hunters.
We're a lockpicker, spy, soldier, master of disguise,
Showtime.
and 2 weapons experts.
We would bring God's justice. What do you say?
I want in.
Agent Morris, I think there's Nazis living in America, and someone out there's taking them out. There is a right way and a wrong way to get justice.
Aloha! This is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man. And I know I've been a little late on movie reviews, but you know, there hasn't really been anything until this week, opening up at the movies this weekend. But in the meantime, last week, Amazon Prime dropped a fantastic new series called Hunters. That has been fabulous. They dropped it on February 21st. And, you know, I've been slowly making my way through the entire 10 episode. Basically, they're all almost about an hour long. The pilot, I think, is close to 2 hours. So it really does take you some work to get through it. Plus, when you're watching it, you kind of want to savor it, because there's a lot of information along with a lot of great entertainment in it, especially if you're a fan of Quentin Tarantino movies. This is kind of taken in that same vein as those. So without further ado, remember our rating scale: shock a thumbs up. It's good to see, I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down. It's junk, I don't recommend it. And for Hunters on Amazon Prime, it is a shock a thumbs up. This movie is outstanding. First of all, they get Al Pacino to basically do a 10-hour movie. Amazing. His performance alone as the head of this team of Nazi hunters back in 1977, where him and his team uncover a plot where Nazis that escaped Germany at the end of World War II came to America, and throughout those 20-30 years basically went ahead and infiltrated into the highest positions of corporate and governmental positions, basically becoming top powers in America, where they could shape policy and influence and affect millions of people. Simply amazing. And what basically starts out as a small kind of vengeance-driven, you know, or as Al Pacino would say, justice-driven, seeking desire to bring these Nazis to justice, basically killing them. We go through and follow this team through this 10-episode arc, which is utterly amazing. First of all, the cinematography is great. It really puts you back into the air of 1970s. And then it also shows like flashbacks from World War II, what some of these victims of the Nazi atrocities, these Jewish victims, had to endure, what they suffered, why they are doing this. Gives you their direct motivation as to why these people These Nazis have to be stopped. So it is a strong shock and thumbs up. And all of the players throughout this show are fantastic. All, again, led by Al Pacino. Without him, I don't think this would have worked so well. So basically, like I say, these Nazis have infiltrated America into the highest ranks of positions and are on the cusp of taking over everything, if not the world, at least the United States. And these 6, 7, 8 Nazi hunters, foil their plans. And along the way, they are able to bring in a lone FBI agent that is able to help them in their quest to stop this threat to America. But throughout the show, we see that there are other threats, not just the monster lurking in the dark that is the Nazis, but it is their ideology that they preach, the ability to bend and mold people to their point of view, the racism in America that lies just beneath the surface, that has unfortunately always been there, that makes the grounds fertile for the seeds that these Nazis plant so that it grows into this fourth rank that they can use. It is not a stretch to say that this is kind of commenting upon society today, our political views. You can easily see a Trump-like political presidential candidate that might have been put into place, if not a Nazi himself, but put into place by this Nazi party to push along their agenda. Unbeknownst to him, probably. Spreading the hatred and the lies, just reinforcing that bigotry that unfortunately, again, like I said, is always there. If not out in the open at times, then definitely beneath the surface, underlying, waiting patiently for its time to strike up and consume normal, average people with hatred. So this show is not only entertaining, a little comical at times, definitely bloody, because it does follow that Tarantino-esque kind of film style, especially with the action and the blood. Think of Inglourious Bastards as just kind of a general example towards this. That is the kind of action that they use. But there's also tremendous drama, tremendous in-depth characterization of all of these characters, not only the Nazi hunters, but also, Al Pacino, but also their enemies as well, these Nazis. The FBI agent has a wonderful relationship that we get to see and follow her arc as she struggles against, being a black FBI female, what racism, what biases she has to put up with, along with, the in-your-face, Jewish slurs that these other individuals, these Nazi hunters, have to endure. But also look at, with the Nazi hunters, they're not all Jewish Holocaust survivors or their children. There's a Japanese man, there's an African-American woman, who's a Black Panther supporter. But in the end, it is all people bound together to fight against what would tear this country apart and help to save it. That, I believe, in the gist, is the ultimate goal and statement that this show is making. And again, with the backdrop of World War II and the fallout from that, which is well documented that some of these Nazis did get away, especially the scientists, and they make a prominent note that many of the, the race for space, whether it be the Soviets or the United States, used these knowledges from the Germans to advance, make technological advances throughout America, throughout the world. But, it is the Nazi hunters led by Al Pacino that bring out to the light and remind people that it's like, despite these technical advances, these, how better off the world is now today because of these advances, because of this knowledge, it's still, you cannot forgive the atrocities that had happened en route, on towards this destination of these, technical advances. And it cannot be forgiven for that. But again, it is an interesting dilemma. Look at political, social, economic trends, disparities, and then also, of course, one cannot deny the religious views taken in this show. But I believe that all are handled very well, and you get to see an interesting point of view throughout the entire 10-episode arc. I highly recommend this. If you have Amazon Prime, you might as well check it out. You're already paying for it. And this is just one of the other great shows that they've gone on. Very down-to-earth and gritty like The Boys. I highly recommend it with a Shaka thumbs up. And like I said, all last week it played, it's still playing. It will be on their Amazon for a long, long time, if not forever. But essentially a 10-hour movie with Al Pacino, is amazing. All of the episodes are really good. It starts off a little slow. It gets a little heavy-handed, talking about, I felt like they were trying to grasp the golden apple of the comic book genre, try to get kind of, up to the times with that, kind of jump on the comic book bandwagon. One of the Nazi hunters is a younger boy who reads comic books and often, at least at first, makes references to DC Comics, Batman, Robin, later on Spider-Man, etc. That he looks like, why do all the good people have to, why do the good people have to be good? Why can't they do what needs to be done? And the FBI agent brings out the point that, the good people don't do good because they have to. By doing good, they are the good people. So, that's just one of the loose ideologies that, it kind of tries to jump on that comic book bandwagon. At times it succeeds. Sometimes, like I said, it's a little heavy-handed in that. But if you're a fan of the genre, you'll definitely enjoy this. And it does make a valid point. Batman, the Punisher, Spider-Man even, all, average people that, are thrust into a position to deal with horrible things. And how they deal with it, is defined by who they are, but also shapes who they become. And this show definitely will shape your mind one way or the other. But either way, it's definitely great entertainment. I cannot stress Al Pacino enough. Episode 8 was probably my most favorite episode. There's Judd Hirsch from Taxi, from Independence Day, goes toe-to-toe with Al Pacino in maybe a 10-minute scene that is amazing. It's fantastic. And I think it's a historic first time ever that these two great actors were on screen together, let alone opposite one another, playing off one another. And just their points of view that their characters take, both wanting to reach the same end goal, however, from different means. Very, very interesting stuff. Very great stuff indeed. I won't tell you any spoilers because you've got to watch this. There are twists and turns throughout the entire 10 episode arc that you gotta, that will leave you jaw dropped, mouth wide open at the end. Not only at the end, but at the episode close to the end too. You're kind of hinted this if you catch it like in episode 5 or 6. And then it's like, but during that time you're kind of, no, it must be this other thing. That's, it can't be that. And then it turns out to be that. And then it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it was that. And, so it's amazing all the way through. I highly recommend it. It is set up for a part 2, but, like a Tarantino movie, not everybody survives to the end. So who is going to move into season 2 and how season 2 will be able to continue on without the full dynamic of the entire team, no spoilers, will be interesting to see, but it does take a different kind of avenue that it looks like it's setting up for season 2. But I definitely want to check it out when it drops. And in the meantime, definitely check out Hunters on Amazon Prime. It's so good. Shock a thumbs up all the way. All right. Thank you so much. This is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man, live here from Hawaii, telling you, shock a thumbs up for Hunters. Check it out. Fabulous. Mahalo so much. And aloha.